Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it, Is Presence Perceptible? This has to do with a question someone asked me, so I will read you the question, and then I will also read you the answer that I wrote to the person. And the question is, Hi Nick, the issue is about perception. Everything is perception. It's through perception that we experience the world and everything manifest. Where does presence come into all this as a perceptible experience? Is presence perceptible without a thought that says, I am presence? Is presence the light that A Course in Miracles talks about, and the body doesn't perceive it? The answer that I suggest or that I offered was, presence is not perceptible. Presence simply is, period. That is why it says that God is, love is, I am, presence is. But it is not perceptible. It is simply the direct experience of being. The perceptible concept adheres to perception, but not to presence. For example, you are pure presence. Perceptions occurs within you. Without perception, you do not cease to be presence. It is just that the attributes of perceiving would not exist. When you go to sleep at night and enter deep sleep, you are the mind and nothing else. The moment a dream is projected, perception takes place in the mind, but it is not the mind. Without perception, the dream could not be perceived. But the dream, which is what is perceived, as well as perception, which is what apparently perceives the dream, both appear in the mind. But the mind perceives nothing. It simply is. It is the space itself, immovable, imperceptible, in which the entire play of perceptions appear to manifest. So, presence is direct experiencing. That is just presence. We cannot negate the fact that we are. See, that is presence. Perception is when a thought appears in presence, which now has the capacity to perceive. But presence exists always because it's the background, it's the space in which perception or the thought of perception appears in. You see, the thought of perception cannot appear without presence, but presence can always be without the thought of perception. So once again, the analogy of the dream is a perfect one. When you are at sleep, all that there is your mind resting in bed, and that's it. There's no perception. When a dream appears in it, that's when perception appears. But perception has nothing to do with the mind itself. It appears in the mind, and it also disappears, and yet the mind remains. That's why presence remains always. You are presence. That's what you are. That's what you will always be, whether thoughts appears in it or not. That is to say, whether the capacity to perceive appears in it or not. It's irrelevant. You simply are. And these videos are pointing to the obvious, to what is. Don't try to trap this with the conceptual mind, because the conceptual mind is a thought, you see. That's what gives rise to perception. This is beyond the mind. It simply is, you see. You rest in beingness always, in spite of whatever may be happening on the surface, meaning whatever may be happening in perception. That's irrelevant. You simply are. Right now, if you don't identify with any thoughts, which is the capacity to perceive, just simply being right now, just presence, you see? This is it. The problem is that you may be trying to trap that with the mind, so you can go, oh, I get it. No, because when you say I get it, that says I get it, it's still a thought in consciousness, in the mind, in presence. So we're not looking for an answer. We're just resting in direct experiencing. And this is what these videos are pointing to. This is the essence. Presence. And that's it. No stories, nothing, just being, pure being. And that's all. That's as far as words can go. Words will not lead you to experience, and they are not the experience. Words appear in experience, but in reality, you simply are. Well, that was the inspiration that came through this instrument. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.